All right, for our Aboriginal piece of art, our dot painting, you're going to get a black sheet of paper. We're gonna write our name and class code on the back, and then we're gonna turn that over, and we are going to trace our hand onto our picture. So you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna lay it down on your piece of paper, and you're going to put it to where you don't have a ton of space up here at the top. You don't want it way down here at the bottom, but you don't want to go all the way to the top. So you want to put your hand about in the middle of your piece of paper, and you're also going to spread out your fingers and then lay your arm down as well, because we're going to trace our arm also. Okay, so I'm going to take my finger, or my pencil, excuse me, and I'm going to trace around my hand, taking my time, trying to stay close to the fingers as I travel around my hand. And then I'm also going to come down my arms as well to get my arm in. Okay, so there is my hand and my arm. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my background. A lot of Aboriginal paintings have the dots that they paint with, but they will also put down a variety of colors and patterns onto their background, and then they'll add the dots on top. We are going to do that on our painting, but the only thing we're not going to add color to is our hand. We are going to leave our hand black. Okay, so you're going to get a paint tray that has a variety of colors, probably some of our primaries and secondaries. You're going to have a cup of water, and you're going to have a big paintbrush and a paper towel to dry off your paintbrush in between each color. So I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to dip it in one of my colors here, and I'm going to paint a section of my paper, and I'm going to paint right up to the pencil lines that I've drawn for my hand. And I'm just going to kind of do like a fun kind of wavy line to divide off my paint from another color. And then I'm just going to fill in the rest of my section that I want to be this color blue. And I'm going to make sure that I spread my paint out on my paper here. I don't want to leave what I call lazy paint. Paint's job is to fill in your space that you're painting, and if you leave blobs of paint, it's going to become lazy because it's not filling in your space, and it also takes a really long time to dry. Okay, I'm going to continue to do this with different colors, different sections of those colors throughout my paper. Here's what it's going to look like. I'm going to use the other colors in my paint tray to fill in the remaining part of my background with a variety of colors. I'm going to make sure that each shape that I color is interesting and has some fun kind of lines to it, and make sure that I spread my paint out and my paint is nice and dark. I can also go back in and add in some interesting lines and details to each color to separate them or just add some interest to each one. Now that my background paint is dry, I'm going to use Q-tips to go in and add in my dots, just like the Aboriginal artist did. I can use all of the colors in my paint palette and add some variety, as well as white or black. I'm going to make sure that all of this space around my hand has dots, the big spaces I've colored and any interesting lines that I've painted as well. I want the whole background to be covered in dots and color.